All right, all right. All right, it look like we in the building. This is not a test. You know what I'm saying? Give me a replay, gang, if you're watching the replay. Good morning, millionaires. You know, this morning we're going to chop it up about success like we always do about this time. My name's Haziq Ali. I'm a revenue acceleration coach. I'm a mindset freaking addict, and I'm a self-made millionaire. How you feeling this morning? You know, what I want to say to you is that a lot of people just don't understand how important communication is to their success. Communication is how we create success. That's how it goes. Hey, girl, this ain't no replay. You are alive and in living color, Jasmine. You know what I mean? Yeah. Good morning, Sharon. How you feel, Queen? Listen, you're gonna need 4 things if you're gonna pull this thing off called success. You're gonna need clear vision. You're gonna need a strategy that works. You're gonna need a plan, and then you're gonna need consistent execution. But ain't none of that gonna work without communication, because anything you could do by yourself is way too small. You hear me? Anything you can do by yourself is way too small. So you're gonna need other people. I tell them all the time, man. That's why every book that ever came down from on high is really a book about networking advice. Am I lying, y'all? Am I lying? All these rules they give us at the end of the day are just rules to help us have better relationships. Man, let me tell you, it all starts, y'all. It all starts with the fact that you're going to have to get your communication together. Does that make sense to somebody out there? Share this broadcast. We're going to be getting started in a couple minutes. Share this broadcast now, though. It's really important. It's really important that you tag an accountability partner and let them understand that you dead serious about some of the changes you intend on making in your life. You know, I think it's important that you create an environment around you that supports that and encourages that, if that makes some sense to somebody out there. And one trick you can use, man, is you can make sure that you say it out loud to the world. That's what you can do. You can say it out loud to the world so everybody sees you as this new version of yourself, right? And they look at you weird when you don't act like it, right? We ain't been live in a while, Miss Wallace. It's all good. It's all good. Hope everybody's feeling good this morning. That's right. Yeah. So we're going to be getting this thing started in less than 60 seconds. In less than 60 seconds, we're getting this party started. So please share this training with your favorite group. You know, ping somebody into the room. You know, let somebody know you dead serious about your improvement this morning, because we dead serious about it. My name is Haziq Ali. I'm about to call into the Millionaire Mind Line, and we're going to get this party started. Hope everybody is feeling incredible, man. Can you already believe that this much time has passed? Can you believe that? Time is just flying. It is amazing. But whether it's the past or the future, I'm going to tell you something. One of the big keys to you being able to stay motivated, like we talked about yesterday, one of the big keys to you being able to inspire others. Hold up, y'all.
Entry and exit tones are off.
Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. I hope everybody's feeling incredible this morning. I'm going to go ahead and start my intro over. For those that are on the Millionaire Mind Line, my name is Haziq Ali. I am obsessed with success. I am something of a revenue acceleration coach. I am somebody who's helping people go further, faster, with less effort, because I'm just trying to be the change I wish I had in my life when I was going through it about 7 years ago, when I was homeless, sleeping in my car, emotionally bankrupt, spiritually bankrupt, and yes, financially bankrupt, if me sleeping in my car was not a clue. But I'm going to tell you what I wasn't, y'all. I wasn't poor, right? Turns out POUR is an acronym. It stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. So as I report to you live as a self-made millionaire, as I report to you live from a place where, my wildest dreams resided just a few short years ago, I want you to know that you have the ability to change your life. You have the ability to start right now with everything that you have and create everything that you want. Millionaires, for the timid, change is going to be frightening. For the comfortable, change is going to be threatening. But millionaire, for the world class, change is opportunity. Right now, you see a lot of change going on right now. Am I right? We got a lot of change happening. I mean, there's a lot of turmoil. There's a lot of chaos. You aren't even really sure which way to turn. But let me tell you which way you turn. You turn within. If there's no enemy within, then an enemy out there can't hurt you. You got to learn to go within or learn to go without. So we call communication on ourselves programming. That's why you hear me so hard on these affirmations every morning. Every morning I'm doing the exact affirmations I was saying when I was sleeping in my car. At times the car battery would die. So what I would have to do is either keep the car running, or when I woke up, I'd have to start my morning trying to get a jump. And then I'd be out there with the jumper cables, people driving past me that saw me yesterday at this same place. They're like, what's up with your car? You know what I mean? But they don't know they're talking about my house. You know what I mean? I can remember that like it's yesterday. Now it's like I own my home with no mortgage, right? Now I have platinum American Express cards and all of this stuff. But the point is, it started from a thought. It started from my ability to communicate with myself. And guess what? My ability to communicate with others. Somebody give me communication in the comments, or write the word communication at the top of your note page if you are taking notes. And you should be taking notes right now. You should be taking notes. Let me be clear. All right, y'all. So let's see. What we need to be doing first, okay? Whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you are taking notes, is we need to establish that it's the note takers that make the money. Is everybody clear on that? It's the note takers that make the money. You can't be out here playing around and just letting this stuff go in one ear and out the other. This is an important topic, y'all, because we spend 78% of our time communicating. Scientists say 78% of every day is spent communicating. And communication, therefore, is not just some discipline. It's an outgrowth of the way that we live. You got to think about that. Something else that I want you to realize that you're supposed to be doing with communication, especially as an entrepreneur, is you should be creating personal, you should be creating a vibe of personal interaction, personal identification. Because when something becomes personal to somebody, it becomes important. Somebody write that in the comments. When you make it personal to someone, you make it important. That's what you're doing with your communication. You're either listening to find out what's important to them, or you're using what you learn from listening to make something important. Millionaires, it ain't the dentist that matters, right? It's the toothache. You don't care about the dentist. You care about the toothache. Y'all hear me? Millionaires, something else to consider with your communication, whether you're talking about online, whether you're talking about in person, is that you can't control your reputation. What you can really control is your character. Character is what God, reputation, what they think you are. Character is what God knows you to be. You get what I'm saying? So what I want you to understand with this communication thing is that it is a discipline. It is a skill set. There is a way that you can choose to make your communication better if that's what you want to do. We had a question class in the Kaizen Academy. We had a whole course just based around questions. But what tripped some people out is I started off with a bunch of introspective type questions, and I'm going to give you a couple this morning so that you understand what it is you're looking to do with your communication, so that you have a stronger sense of self as it relates to this thing you're communicating with the world, this brand you're communicating with the world, because it's all going to start with your philosophy. That's going to give you your attitude, which is going to give you the activity, which is going to give you the results, which is going to give you the lifestyle. So first, I want you to ask yourself, who am I? Right? Who am I? If you're in business with a team, maybe you're asking, who are we? The second one is, who do we want to become? And then the third question that you may want to ask yourself is, what do I have to do to close that gap? One of the things is get much, much better at communication. one of the things that you can do is get much, much better at your way of influencing the world. When we communicate internally, we call it programming. When we're communicating with the world, we call it influence. So what I'm about to do is give you 10 ways, real quick, rapid fire, that you can jot in your power book that you are able to use right now to increase the way you communicate starting today, to increase the impact and to advance and enhance the power that you wield as you're communicating with people in your daily goings. If you're ready for number one, give me a number one and a share. Give me a number one and a share. Here's the first one, y'all. Here's the first one, y'all. You got to have direct eye contact. You got to start using more direct eye contact. Put this by your notes in direct eye contact, right? Put this in your notes, right? Use the 3-second rule. The 3-second rule says you hold their gaze for 3 seconds and then you look away, right? But practice that, because some of you transmit that you aren't feeling confident or that you aren't feeling good about yourself today because you look around everywhere. Now, sometimes it's good to look around. Sometimes it's good to if you feel like you don't want to intimidate the person. Like, say you're a man and you're talking to a woman and she's an older woman, or maybe she's sometimes it's important to not keep gaze too long, because what you're doing is coming off like a serial killer, right? You're coming off like a stalker. So what you want to do then is consciously look at him in the eyes and then go back to, your regular body language, et cetera, so forth. Like sometimes when you're thinking, you may look off into the distance, et cetera, so forth, but get back to their eyes. Here's number two. Give me a number two and a share. What you want to do is use speech connectors. Number two is use speech connectors. Use speech connectors, y'all. What are we saying about speech connectors? What we're saying is that when people are talking, you want to get to a place where you are letting them know that you're listening. One, by nodding your head, and two, by connecting the thoughts to each other with in a way that only you can do as the audience. So you're saying, like, really? Man, that's wild. You can't be serious. That's fascinating. I can't believe it. Are you kidding? Right? These are speech connectors. Some of you don't do that. So then you leave the person feeling like they're being ignored. You leave the person feeling like at the end of the day, they're talking to themselves, or there's no connection. There's no rapport being formed. Like they're a party of one right now. Like you might as well be scrolling in your phone, which I hope you aren't doing while they're talking. Why? Because number three is important as well. Somebody give me a number three and a share. Let's run through this. So far we've established the fact that we're going to keep stronger eye contact. Secondly, we've established the fact that we're going to use with intention connection in our speech and keep that conversation vibrant and engaged, right? And then number three is, what are we going to do, y'all? We're going to listen for the meaning of their message. Number three is we're going to listen for the meaning of their message. See, a lot of times it's like Miles Davis said, the music is in that space between the notes. A lot of times in communication, what you should be listening for is what they aren't saying. Ain't that cool? You say, Haziq, now you're telling me I got to darn near read their mind. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Once you start paying attention, you darn near can. Because they're telling you everything that you need to know. This guy, Milton Erickson, I think his name, the dude that kind of like invented psychiatry as we know it, or hypnotherapy to be more specific. He said that nothing that somebody does is for no reason. I'm talking about when you become an observer, like, some of these forensic or detectives, or in folklore, people, when you read a story about somebody like Sherlock Holmes, he just had these superior tools of observation. That's based on Milton Erickson, right? And the fact that, because he was struck with polio and couldn't move in his bed, he had to become this champion observer. He had 9 sisters. He discovered that even the word no didn't always mean no. The word yes didn't always mean yes. He started to learn that sometimes when they said it this way, it was to defer. Sometimes when they said it this way, it was to cajole. Sometimes when they said it in this way, it was to establish power. He started to learn that everything means something. The way somebody ties their shoe, the way they wear their shirt, the way everything means something. We now call this body language. But my point is, even if you aren't some kind of body language expert, what are you doing to listen for the meaning of their message, millionaire? If you understand the meaning, then you can respond with clarity. But how the heck you going to solve their problems if you aren't even clear what their problems are? Or you go in assuming that what you consider to be their problem is a problem. You can mess around and offend them. You're not listening. Don't you hate when somebody cuts you off or they try to finish your sentence for you and you're like, that's not what I was going to say at all. Give me a number 4 and a share, and I'm going to give you one more tip that's going to help you go miles faster when it comes to building relationships. Millionaires, give me a number 4 and a share. Here's the 4th one I got for you. You want to begin to adapt the rate of their communication. You want to start to sync up with their communication. Isn't that incredible? What I'm saying to you is that you literally need to put yourself in a place where you are adapting their brain speed. Sounds crazy, right? But people that observe me, different of my mentees, they will say like, it is wild how you were talking completely different to them than you're talking to me right now. It's because I'm matching them. If I sense they're a bit irreverent, then maybe I'm using a little bit more slang. If I see that they're full of energy, then I'm going to be energetic with them. If they're talking all crazy, I'm going to talk crazy right back to them. If they're talking really soft and slow, then if I talk fast, I'm going to come off like some kind of city slicker. I'm going to come off like I got to match them. I got to mirror what they're doing. And if I'm in person, man, it even helps to mirror some of because we like people who are like us and we dislike people who are not like us. That's why your job as a leader is to focus the vision on our commonalities. And if we're going to look at our differences, then we look at the power that our differences bring to the table. But what we're always looking to do when we're talking to a stranger is find commonality. That's why everybody's always starting with the weather, like amazing weather we're having, aren't we? Because we can be common. We have a commonality in that place. All right, here's number 5 because we're running out of time. Here's number 5, y'all. You got to use congruent gestures at the same time. Man, I'm going to tell you, for a lot of you, using any gestures at all means a lot, but what I'm saying is also you want to use congruent. Like if I say we're together, then I can do something like this, like it's me and you, right? But I don't want to be saying it's me and you and I'm like, hell no, I'm not buying that from you. Because then I look weird. I look like I'm developmentally challenged. You see what I mean? So you want to make sure that your body language matches what you're talking about. And you want to intentionally use, especially if you're presenting in front of people, like we're about to be able to get back to do. They're saying it like, soon outside will open back up. But my point is that you want to make sure that you're using body gestures, period, because it makes your point more emphatically. Or there are things you can do. Now, if you watch politicians, you don't want to point at people, but maybe you're doing this, right? Or maybe you're doing this, you know what I mean? But the whole point is that you want to be doing something, because if you're not, you're losing the ability to be seen as more charismatic. You're losing the ability to be seen as more compelling, more magnetic. You're losing the ability to be heard and listened to a little bit clearer. Yes, you want to use body language. You want to use congruent gestures if there is a way that you can pull that off. All right, here's number 6, y'all. Learn to respond, not react. Learn to respond, not react. Man, my business partner is one of the most emotionally intelligent people that I've ever met. And it's amazing that he's also one of the most successful people that I've ever met at one of the youngest ages, especially that when you're not talking about having to deal with, entertainment of some sort. My point to you is that emotional IQ has a lot more to do with your success than traditional IQ, than your educational IQ, right? Your emotional IQ. If you will just learn to respond rather than react, you naturally put yourself higher up the food chain. Because what separates us from the animals is this idea that we get to respond. We don't just have fight or flight instinct. Do you hear me? We don't have just fight or flight instinct. What we have is the ability to think about it, consider what just happened, and then what we want out of this situation, what our actual goal is, and then communicate in a way that'll help that be achieved. Man, if anybody out there is in a relationship and you have a significant other, I bet you've just now felt me. Either you felt me because that ain't what they do, or you felt me because that's what they keep on telling you to do. I'm telling you, you have to take it from your boy. You have to learn to listen. You know, some of us think we so smart, we already done figured out what they going to say. And what we do is rob ourselves of the point of all of this, which is the connection. At the time, they don't even want the solution, as you'll find when you go into entrepreneurship. But what they do want to do is express themselves. And what they will do is you the solid of listening to you express yourself or respond after you let them finish. But don't waste it. Don't waste it by reacting. Don't waste it by throwing something out that you didn't even think about first. Don't waste it by just, talking based on your needs, not theirs. You got to respond, not react. If you're ready for number 7, give me a number 7 and a share. Give me a number 7 and a share. We almost done. If you are rocking with us on Clubhouse, ping somebody into the room because we're about to get into a whole Q&A session about this after we get this affirmation thing going. And all right, here's number 7, y'all. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Focus on what's different. Now, I know I just told you we like to focus on the similarities between ourselves, right? But what I'm saying is focus on what's different in each area of your communication. Focus on what's different in each area of their communication. Why? Because 1, this is helping you start to listen from a more cerebral perspective. And then 2, they become more memorable to you. They begin to stand out. Next thing you know, you're reading something and you think of them. And now you have something to send them. And now they're looking at you as a consultant, not a salesperson. Now they're looking at you as a resource in their life, not just one of the many people in their life that add no value. What I'm saying is when you begin to focus on them as an individual, personalized person, not one of many numbers, you begin to increase your own power. Because like Dale Carnegie taught us, you can win more friends in a couple weeks of being interested than you can in a couple years of trying to be interesting. And that leads us perfectly to number 8. Give me a number 8 and a share. Give me a number 8 and a share. Give me a number 8 and a share. Here we go. Here we go. Give me a number 8 and a share. Millionaires, learn names and use them. Learn names and use them. You are going to skyrocket your communication power when you decide that you ain't got to always be the cool one that don't know nobody. And then you think it's so cool. You walk away and like, man, I ain't gonna lie. It is funny. Like my pops, I told this story before, but my pops was like kind of like a big dog in his town, especially in our community, because he had all these black books and people always come up to him like, hey, brother, and he'll be like, hey, chief. And that's when me and my brother would know he did not know their name. You'd be like, hey, chief, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, learn people's names, man, because people feel connected to you automatically when you sprinkle their name in that sentence, when you sprinkle their name in that question, when you sprinkle that name in that request, they feel a lot more connected to you. And you just now raise your odds of getting that thing done. Number 9 is take notes as other people talk. Haven't you ever heard this idea that someone is noteworthy? Y'all ever heard that expression? Somebody is noteworthy, right? Y'all ever heard that expression? Somebody's noteworthy. Well, check it out, y'all. What if you decided to add to your personnel file right there while they're talking? Do you know how flattered they become? And then do you know how powerful you become when you actually use the notes you wrote down? But this shows them you're interested. This gives them a feeling of importance. And when you take all 9 of those and you combine it with number 10, my God, you're going to change your life. What you may want to do is speaking of changing your life, what you may want to do is text message @MillMind to the number 81010. And you can join Dear Millionaire. This is the world's first text message system for personal growth and self-development. It'll also send you reminders about our trainings. Like, for instance, every Wednesday we do Obsessed with Success. I think you're going to really enjoy that because we go a lot deeper into the stories, the strategies, and the mindset of the greatest to ever do it. It's always a good time. So if you want to join our text message system, this might be a good time. Here's number 10, y'all. Be visible. You use all of this, y'all, and then what a waste it would be if you don't even get in front of people. Am I right? So what you want to do is be more visible. What you want to do is call, at least text 3 people every day. Can somebody give me that in the comments? 3 people every day? 3 people every day, only if you commit. Write it in your notes, underline it, circle it. You know, our whole goal is to give you immediately actionable steps every day so that when we meet back up here a day from now, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, you see quantum leaps in your life. Massive change comes from massive action. I'm inviting you this morning to take massive action and commit to 3 people every day that you're going to get in front of. You got to stay in front of people who can say yes to you, millionaire. You got to stay in front of people who can say yes to you, millionaire. That's all our time. I hope you got something out of this. I love y'all, man. You know, we about to go do our affirmations. You might want to call in, or maybe you think we weird. You know what I mean? And that's cool too. Because in a society where it's normal to be broke and obese and unhealthy and miserable, I'd rather be weird. Because you hang out with these fools, being weird mean you on the right track. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to come and say your affirmations with us, you're welcome. You know, I love you all. Millionaires, repeat after me.